you have allowed to be servants and to be people who live in this area. And Lord, we're asking tonight that you would go before, Father, for all of the decisions that need to be made, for the items that are on the agenda, Lord, for the steps that will be taken, Father, to implement a managerial form of government for the city of Freeport. We thank you that your word also says that in you are hidden all the treasures of wisdom and knowledge. It says in the book of James, if any of you lack wisdom, he should ask God, who gives generously to all without fault finding, and it will be given to him. So I ask on behalf of these men and women that you would give great wisdom tonight and throughout this year as they meet for all of the decisions that need to be made, all of the challenges that may be before them. We thank you that in you is everything we need of wisdom and knowledge and understanding. Thank you that you are going to bring blessings and you're going to bring prosperity upon this city, Father, as a result of men and women who give themselves, Father, to just the areas that you've called them, Father, to the areas of service. And Lord, that you will bring about a powerful work as we look back over this year. May we be amazed to see how you blessed and moved and gave new ideas and new direction and brought about, Father, just a great work of unity to bring forward, Father, the work that you want to do in the city of Freeport and this surrounding area. And we thank you for all this now. In Jesus' mighty name, amen.
Thank you. At this time, we will call this meeting to order. Madam Clerk, please take the roll.
Mayor Gitz,
Here.
Alderperson Clem,
Here.
McClanathan,
Here.
Ross,
Here.
Miller,
Here.
Busker,
Here.
Brashaw,
Here.
Keister,
Here.
Chesney.
Here.
Alderman McClanathan, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, the chair will entertain a motion to approve the agenda as posted.
So move.
It's moved by Alderman Keister. Is there a second?
Second it.
It's seconded by Alderman Ross. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. Next, we have the approval of the minutes from the December 19th, 2016 regular meeting. Is there a motion for their approval?
So moved.
Second.
I'm sorry, who is the
So
movement?
moved.
Alderman Busker moves, seconded by Alderperson Miller. All in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. Next, we come to public comments on agenda items. Madam Clerk, do we have any? Okay. Okay. Mr. Carroll has something that's non-agenda. Thank you. We will now move to the consent agenda. First, is there any item on the consent agenda that a member of the council wants to remove for discussion? Seeing no such request, the consent agenda will stand as presented. Is there a motion for its adoption?
So moved.
It's moved by Alderperson Brashaw. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Alderman McClanathan. The consent agenda has upon it the Police Department report of activities for the month of November 2016, approval of water and sewer bills payable in the total amount of $580,409.26, approval of the payroll for the pay period ending December 24th, 2016, that payroll totaling $424,554.25, with fringe benefits in the amount of $39,438.46 for a total of $463,992.71. And finally, the approval of the finance bills payable from registers 695, 699, 703, totaling $529,692.84. There having been a motion to approve and a second, Madam Clerk, could you please take the roll to approve the consent agenda items?
McClanathan,
Aye.
Ross,
Aye.
Miller,
Aye.
Busker,
Aye.
Brashaw,
Aye.
Keister,
Aye.
Chesney,
Aye.
Clem.
Aye.
Passes 8-0.
We now come to item 5, which is second reading of ordinance 2017-01. Madam Clerk, could you please read this ordinance for a second time?
This is an ordinance to abate the 2016 real estate tax levy for the repayment of the general obligation bonds Series 2013A, and this is renumbered from the 2016-64.
Is there any further discussion or debate in regard to ordinance 2017-01? Seeing no further discussion or debate, Madam Clerk, please take the roll.
McClanathan,
Aye.
Ross,
Aye.
Miller,
Aye.
Busker,
Aye.
Brashaw,
Aye.
Keister,
Aye.
Chesney,
Aye.
Clem.
Aye.
Passes 8-0.
We now come to item 6, which is the second reading of ordinance 2017-02. Madam Clerk, could you please read this ordinance for a second time?
This is an ordinance to abate the 2016 real estate tax levy for the repayment of general obligations bonds Series 2014A, and this was renumbered from 2016-65.
Is there any further discussion or debate in regard to the passage of ordinance 2017-02? Seeing no further discussion or debate, Madam Clerk, please take the roll on ordinance 2017-02.
McClanathan,
Aye.
Ross,
Aye.
Miller,
Aye.
Busker,
Aye.
Brashaw,
Aye.
Keister,
Aye.
Chesney,
Aye.
Clem.
Aye.
Passes 8-0.
We now come to item 7, which is second reading of ordinance 2017-03. This is another ordinance on abating the 2016 real estate tax levy. Madam Clerk, could you please read this ordinance for a second time?
This is an ordinance to abate the 2016 real estate tax levy for the repayment of general obligation bonds Series 2014B, and this was renumbered from the 2016-66.
Is there any further discussion or debate in regard to ordinance 2017-03? Seeing no further discussion or debate, Madam Clerk, please take the roll on ordinance 2017-03.
McClanathan,
Aye.
Ross,
Aye.
Miller,
Aye.
Busker,
Aye.
Brashaw,
Aye.
Keister,
Aye.
Chesney,
Aye.
Clem.
Aye.
That passes 8-0.
We now come to item 8, which is second reading of ordinance 2017-04. This is again another real estate abatement ordinance. Madam Clerk, would you read ordinance 2017-04 for a second time?
This is an ordinance to abate the 2016 real estate tax levy for the repayment of general obligation bonds Series 2015A, and this was renumbered from 2016-67.
Is there any further discussion or debate in regard to this ordinance? I'm sorry. Okay. If you'll just hold a moment, Corporation Counsel, there's a minor typographical error.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, as they would call it a scribble. Section 1, there's a misspelling of the word 14. It should be Fourteen. The U is missing, so I would suggest, just to be clear on it, you amend that you pass it as amended, with changing that word to the correct spelling.
Okay, we'll treat this as a Scrivener's error. Is there any objection to amending it on its face by agreement? We will correct 14 with its proper spelling in section 1, second line. Counsel, anything else?
That's all I had, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. Further discussion or debate on the ordinance as a whole? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please take the roll.
McClanathan,
Aye.
Ross,
Aye.
Miller,
Aye.
Busker,
Aye.
Brashaw,
Aye.
Keister,
Aye.
Chesney,
Aye.
Clem.
Aye.
That passes 8-0.
And finally, we come to item 9, which is second reading of ordinance 2017-05, which is abating 2016 real estate taxes for general obligation bond series 16. Madam Clerk, could you please read this ordinance, which is the final abatement ordinance, into the record for a second time?
This is an ordinance to abate the 2016 real estate tax levy for the repayment of general obligation bonds Series 2016. This was renumbered from the 2016-68.
Okay, is there any further discussion or debate in regard to this ordinance? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please take the roll.
McClanathan,
Aye.
Ross,
Aye.
Miller,
Aye.
Busker,
Aye.
Brashaw,
Aye.
Keister,
Aye.
Chesney,
Aye.
Clem.
Aye.
Passes 8-0.
Great. Before we go to resolutions, I do wish to clarify for the public. These are 5 ordinances abating real estate taxes. This is a procedural matter. the terms of our bonds, they would appear in the real estate tax roll for payment unless we have other revenue and unless we abate them. So this is a procedural necessity because we do indeed have other revenue. The only reason that we have this provision in our bonds is because it gives greater security to the bonds and therefore a lower interest rate. So we have taken individual roll calls on each of these bonds to make sure that we have protected the record and that we've had an individual roll call so that we will make not only the county clerk very happy, but the bondholders very happy. We will now move to resolutions. Item 10 is adoption of Resolution 2017-01. This is a resolution in regard to our multi-hazard mitigation plan that the council may recall was previously approved. Madam Clerk, would you please read this resolution 2017-01?
This is a resolution approving and adopting the Stevenson County Multi-Hazard Mitigation Plan.
And actually an amendment. Director Mills, would you please share with the council and with the public what we're doing? And also, I think that everyone should have a 2-page handout which indicates the small changes that are recommended. You may recall that previously there was a fairly sizable document that was presented to the council with the presentation being made by the County Hazard Committee Chair. That document has to be removed at the reviewed at the federal level, so they're bringing back their suggested changes. Director Mills?
I don't know if I have anything more to add, Mayor. I think you nailed the basics of it there.
Well, just for the sake of the record,
Oh, and-
since we have 2 pages of little miscellaneous detail here, would you handle any highlights in that?
Sure. They wanted a summary of hazards excluded statement included on page 41 that just weren't considered by all the officials participating to be significant enough to be included in the plan. They prefer a different measure of stating statistics throughout the report. So instead of saying 0.65 drought events per year, for example, they want 15% probability of at least one drought event per year. And that was changed throughout the report. There was a summary of tornado impacts and vulnerabilities, which was modified. The table, there's 2 parts to the table there. Cities and villages, and then Stevenson County as a whole. It also included some historical data about the biggest tornadoes that have been encountered in the area, and as well as the housing density for the city of Freeport and what a impact could be from a tornado like that. There's more statistical detail there, and then adding a statement about land identification and potential acquisition in floodplains on voluntary basis was added on page 99. So some relatively minor changes, closer to housekeeping level, just to meet FEMA standards and execute this plan.
Are there any questions or comments from the council?
Mr. Mayor,
Alderperson Brashaw.
thank you. Thank you, Alex, for this list of changes. I actually requested this because he said there had been a few minor changes, but I said if it was more than a few sentences, I wanted to see them listed. And I noticed also that Nick Jupin was listed as the primary point of contact because at the time that this contract was previously written, he was, and I suggested to Alex that it would be changed. He said, well, of course it will be, to either himself or the new grant writer, and please forgive me, I forgot her name.
Nancy McDonald.
Nancy McDonald. Yeah, to make sure that that was all corrected for the new copy as well. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? Alderman Chesney.
Motion to approve as amended.
Second.
It's moved by Alderman Chesney, seconded by Alderman McClanathan to approve these suggested changes to the county hazard plan. Did I mess that up? I thought that was your second.
No, Alderman Clem, editorial comment.
I see. Anything you care to share with us, Alderman?
No comment.
Or would you prefer not to create any additional hazards? There's a motion to approve. It's been seconded. Is there any other comments, discussion, or debate in regard to this resolution? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please take the roll.
McClanathan.
Aye.
Ross.
Aye.
Miller.
Aye.
Busker.
Aye.
Brashaw.
Aye.
Keister.
Aye.
Chesney.
Aye.
Clem.
Aye.
Passes 8-0.
Well, we've started the new year, And in 15 minutes, we're down to reports of department heads. It's got to be a new record. We'll start with, we'll be different this time. We'll start with the Public Works Director. Director Dole.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a couple of things. I passed out my weekly reports, if there's any questions on those. We did receive the new UTV snowplow. We just need some snow now to make it work. And we are also picking up Christmas trees, discarded Christmas trees at the 7 or 8 locations that I put in the paper for the next couple of weeks. Try not to put wreaths and wires and anything other than real Christmas trees at the drop-off locations. So I think we got all the Christmas decorations down from the downtown, and we're proceeding with patching potholes. That's another thing I'm looking for. If you got potholes, give me a call. And I can answer any questions if you have them. Thank you.
Questions or comments for Mr. Dole? Okay. Thank you. Community Development, Director Mills.
No report tonight, Mayor.
Okay. Any questions or comments or requests for Director Mills?
Mayor.
Alderman Chesney.
Thank you, sir. Is there any comments that you can say publicly as it relates to the building on Stevenson? Just for the viewing public, not necessarily for us, but.
Sure.
Director Mills.
We've had meetings recently with contractors, adjacent building owners, utility companies, city staff, fire department, to basically make sure everybody's on the same page with what needs to happen with this demolition as it proceeds. We are proceeding accordingly and on a timeline that would have that building demolished mid to late January. Some stabilization of an adjacent building needs to occur and some other similar work prior to demolition, so that's what we're working on right now, along with making sure the utilities are well marked, the locations are known, and anything that can be moved has been moved. So that's not something we have to worry about when we get to demolition. So we are, that is very much the front burner thing in our department right now, and we're working daily on that to make sure the whole process goes as smoothly as possible.
Any other questions? If not, thank you. Director Bernadelle.
Thank you, Mayor. I don't have any report, but however, I want the council to know that this week I'm having 2 demos. I'm looking at an accounting software. So on Thursday, I have one company coming to give us a demo, and on Friday, another one is coming to give us a demo. Thank you.
Any questions from the council? I will move to Director Glendenning.
No report, sir.
Any questions or comments for the Water and Sewer Director? If not, Police Chief.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to remind everybody that tomorrow we have a swearing in of Connor Fleming. We're very excited. Connor is a graduate of Luther College. He is a local kid. He's a Dakota kid, I guess. Call that local. So he gets sworn in tomorrow at 9 o'clock right here in Chambers. So we're very excited about that. Also, I just wanted to, I was going over yearly stats and taking a look at some things, and I can't help it. I always try to compare this year to last year, and always wanting better numbers, and the numbers, they are what they are. But you know, one of the things that many times I get complaints on is 7-day vehicles. Now, 7-day vehicles are the broken down vehicles that are parked in somebody's yard or private property, and you know, that's always kind of an eyesore and it's kind of a problem. Excuse me. I was taking a look at the numbers from last year, and you know, my civilian service officer, Austin, Ted Austin, does a lot of the legwork on that. But this year, he abated or we removed 202 vehicles throughout the city, and that's way more than last year. And there's a lot more to go. I mean, I get it, you know, but I saw that stat, and I was very proud of that. And that's a testament to patrol officers and Officer Austin to follow up on some of that. So I just wanted to mention that because I know that that's in all of your wards. That's one of those things that, it's, it just seems to, to be there. And he's worked very hard at that. So any questions?
Questions in the council?
Mayor.
Alderman Keister.
More a statement than a question. I've worked with Ted on a number of occasions in my wards on vehicles and found him very aggressive and very courteous to the people as far as doing it. He doesn't go in and beat them over the head with a stick right away. He gives them an opportunity to move it on their own as best they can, and I think he should be commended for that. I think he's doing a wonderful job, and he's cleaning I know he's cleaned a lot of cars out of my ward.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Alderman Clem.
Mr. Mayor, just want to basically echo what Alderman Keister said, and the other thing is he's great at communications with you.
No doubt.
He lets you know what's going on with it in case you get a second call on it or anything else. But hey, thank you for that stat and for that amount of cleanup.
Yeah.
Anything else from the council? If not, Fire Chief?
There's no report from the fire department, Mayor.
Okay. And Carol Dickerson, our librarian, has some rather interesting announcements to make about the programs that are coming down the road from the library.
Good evening.
Good evening.
There were 65 people in attendance at a press conference at the library this morning to hear Mayor Getz speak and to learn what the selection was going to be for the 2017 One Book, One Freeport program. The title is Gloryland, a fictional memoir of an African-American man from South Carolina who becomes a buffalo soldier and is assigned to patrol Yosemite National Park in 1903. Free books will be distributed on February 4th and February 11th at the library. Those are courtesy of the Freeport Public Library Foundation, and we have 1,000 copies of Gloryland to distribute. They haven't arrived yet, or I would have some to pass out tonight by way of currying favor with the City Council. Gloryland's author, Sheldon Johnson, will be in Freeport Thursday, March 9th for a full day of speaking engagements. Mr. Johnson will give an educational program at the Freeport School District and will be available for an author talk and reading that evening held at the Boys and Girls Club and open to the public free of charge. Funding for One Book, One Freeport 2017 is provided by grants from the Freeport Community Foundation, the Community Foundation of Northern Illinois, and the Illinois Humanities Council. Additional funding and in-kind gifts were provided by the Freeport Public Library Foundation, FHN, the Freeport Journal-Standard, and the Lincoln Douglas Kiwanis. There are other partners who contribute greatly to the program. Those include the Boys and Girls Club, the Convention and Visitors Bureau, the Historical Society, Lindo Theater, University of Illinois Extension, Highland Community College, the Northwest Audubon Society, and the Senior Resource Center. A variety of events will be scheduled around the community, including living history presentations. One of the presenters will be Steve Cole, who will be portraying a buffalo soldier. Another event you won't want to miss will be a presentation given by the Buffalo Troopers Motorcycle Club of Northwestern Illinois. The mission of One Book, One Freeport is to engage an all-in shared reading experience, fostering a sense of community and promoting literacy to people of all ages, ethnic backgrounds, and economic levels. In addition to the One Book, One Freeport program, which is a biennial event every other year, there are 7 free lectures coming up in what I'm astonished to say is the 13th annual American History Speakers Series. This year's series will cover a range of topics suggested by Gloryland. The series co-founder, Jim Winker, who is the head of the Social Studies Department at the high school, who founded the series back in 2004 with Dr. Edward Finch, is going to give the kickoff lecture. That's on Thursday, January 19th at 6:30. His presentation, We Go Forth Sorrowfully, the Cherokee Nation in Jacksonian America, introduces the figures and forces that led to what's been known as the Trail of Tears. The next speaker is another teacher, an instructor at Freeport High School, Michael Banghart. On Tuesday, January 14th, he's going to present Horse Culture of the Plains Indian, an examination of the introduction of horses into North America and the way it changed Native American culture. I will make available details of the programs by putting these out on our little literature table here. I am sorry to say, though, that standards have been lowered for one program in the series, because I'm going to be giving one of the talks. On February 9th, I'm going to be presenting a program called The Librarian and the Confederate General. And I will have between now and February 9th to yammer on to you about exactly what I'll be talking about. There's one more event coming up at the library. It's coming up tomorrow afternoon. Chief Todd Barkalow is going to be a celebrity reader at the library. We have a reading enrichment class that meets at the library during the school year, the first Wednesday of the month. Mayor Getz has been a fine celebrity reader, and the mayor knows what's required of celebrity readers. It's not just to read a story or two, although the kids enjoy that. You're also required to talk about the importance of reading in your personal and professional life, and how, in fact, you wouldn't be where you are today if you couldn't read. Now, there is one thing, though, that will give you a little more cachet with the kids. So I've kept that in mind when choosing some titles for Chief Barkalow to select from. He's going to have a little bit of a challenge talking about what a police chief does, just as Mayor Getz was truly challenged when he had to tell a group of 3rd and 4th graders what it is that a mayor does. But I think I have help for Todd. Because this is the program where we have therapy dogs come to the library so the kids can practice reading aloud to therapy dogs. I believe that if our police chief concentrates on talking about jobs different animals, dogs have, hearing dogs, search and rescue dogs, patrol dogs, detector dogs, bomb sniffing dogs, and of course, police dogs, that the children will be thrilled to learn that Chief Barkalow, as many of you doubtless know, was in fact once a canine officer himself. I do have my personal choice for Todd, though. It's Officer Buckle and Gloria, which is a book that the kids have heard in other grades before, and I guarantee you will be a hit if you select this title, Todd. Thank you so much for agreeing to do that.
Thank you. Any questions for Carol? Carol, I sense that you have at least 8 other celebrity readers in the making here in the council.
It's a big job.
That concludes department reports. And the mayor's report will be very brief. There are a couple of things that I wanted to highlight for the council. One, as you know, we moved a lot of snow over the holidays, and Mother Nature seemed to have a tendency to snow invariably on the holidays themselves. So the cost of removing all that snow quickly has been a lot of overtime. So you might want to take an Excedrin when you look at the overtime reports that are going to be for the cleanup, because it's going to be substantial. It's, what, Tom, about 56 hours?
56 hours each?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay. Second, as the council knows, we have a police plan that was adopted some 3 years ago. And it was a plan that was very carefully thought out, but it hasn't been revisited. So we're going to start that process of opening up the public safety plan for the city of Freeport to public comment and for reformulation and updating. So the first step, I will send you the existing plan as it exists and the matrices for evaluation to the council. I will be open to your suggestions and send them out to you in the very near future for candidates to be included. We have some people in mind. I'd like to get this underway fairly quickly. I think this is a useful exercise. I think it highlights the public safety plan. And I think that there are some issues that are difficult, but we need to think about, are there some additional things that we can do? And for those of you in the council who didn't happen to see the Sunday edition of the Chicago Tribune, the issues of policing in Chicago were highlighted throughout that entire edition. And if you'd like, I'll be happy to copy those articles and send them to you as an attachment. I think there's some useful ideas there that are being expressed by others, because we all, as communities, large or small, are facing some of the same issues. Next, it has been the tradition of this administration to do year-end reports for the calendar year from each department. So we are busy formulating those right now. We have most of those reports in draft form. I can't promise you the exact date of presentation, but we will be doing a presentation to the council that will be formatted in terms of PowerPoint. But that will come fairly quickly. We're shooting for the next meeting of the City Council at the end of January. And finally, we talked a little bit about budget process. We have worksheets that are coming out to our departments. There's a public component that we've discussed kind of in broad form. I want to put flesh and bones on that very quickly. We sort of lost the month of December with everything else going on. Our intent is to pick up the pace and to run a parallel track on this to give a little bit of input in terms of what the public sees as priorities. And my guess is that the public priorities and your priorities are going to line up very nicely. The benefit to everybody is as we have some very difficult choices on that budget, I think it will give the public an appreciation of the kind of choices we have to make. So those are the items that I wanted to share with the council. I do want to express my appreciation to Alderman Chesney and the city management team and the 3 public members. There's a resolution that's about to be presented to the council on an RFP for a search firm. I think that committee has moved along very nicely at a quick pace to create the environment for recruiting an acceptable city manager and fleshing out the ordinance changes that we're all going to be doing over the next several months. Any other questions or comments from the council? If not, we'll move on to council announcements. I think what we'll do is, before we go to individual consultation, we'll handle the authorization of the RFP process. Alderman Chesney, as chairman of the committee, would you like to present that?
Yes, thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Council. The committee to transition the form of government voted unanimously without any protest the first piece of the hiring of the city manager, which is to go out and hire an executive search firm. The feedback that we get will be in a couple of weeks, and then we'll know how to proceed. asking the city council to authorize us to go out for bid to hire an executive search firm, and we would need that in a form of a motion so we can get moving on that tomorrow.
So,
Is there a motion?
so move.
Second.
It's moved by Alderman Clem, seconded by Alderman Ross, to approve the RFP process as proposed and adopted by the City Manager Transition Committee. Is there any discussion?
Mr. Mayor?
Alderman Clem.
I'd just like to add to what Alderman Chesney said. Most of the work for this particular document was done by the three people that we have from the outside that have helped us. Todd Wiggins, Chris Schneiderman, and Gary Quinn have done an absolutely excellent job and have held meetings on this and have really been an asset to the committee.
All right. Very good. Is there any other discussion? If not, Madam Clerk, please take the roll. Although this, technically at this point, it's going out and getting proposals and does not involve the expenditure of money, I want to make sure that we've crossed our T's, dotted our I's. So we're going to take a roll call on this one as opposed to a voice vote.
McLanathan.
Aye.
Ross.
Aye.
Miller.
Aye.
Busker.
Aye.
Brashaw.
Aye.
Keister.
Aye.
Chesney.
Aye.
Clem.
Aye.
Passes 8-0.
Okay, we'll now go to individual council announcements. Alderman McLanathan.
Thank you. I didn't give you any notice, but would our police and fire representative like to talk a little bit about the January 28th Battle of the Badges happening in the afternoon? If we want to highlight that a little bit. Including projected scores.
No projected scores yet, but we're still in the stages. We're having a lot of fun, and it's generating a lot of activity and chatter on social media, and so we're having a blast. We're going to try to get the bigs in blue. We're going to try to get the littles involved and have some of the kids that we mentor also there to do a little shoot around. And also we're going to be running a little concession stand to try to raise money for the Explorer program. The Explorer program is kind of a new program. It's like the auxiliary, but for high school, 14 to 18-year-olds. It's kind of a branch of the Boy Scouts of America. It's Police Explorers. So anyway, we're real excited about it. We're hopefully there'll be an ambulance there in hand to maybe cart somebody off with a hamstring injury or something.
Okay. Did we answer your query?
Oh, no. My turn yet. I'm glad to hear that the police department is having fun planning this and putting this all together, because I guarantee they're not on the 28th. I mean, we're just gonna school you. There's no choice at all here. So come one, come all. Watch the police department once again get humiliated by fire. I don't care if we have to bring the ladder truck inside. We're gonna win that, man.
Just for the sake of our viewing audience, do you want to give the place, date, and time?
It's the 28th Emmanuel Lutheran School. We have a shoot around, I believe starts at 9 o'clock, and maybe the game starts, is it 2 and 3? All right, are you looking at the flyer? All right, good. So if you want to go ahead and announce that, I wasn't for sure on the time, so go ahead, Peter.
It says shoot around at 2 and 3 o'clock, the game.
All right, perfect.
Great. Thank you. Alderman Ross.
Yes, another question for Chief Barklow. I see that you had posted the shirts that the fire department will be wearing. Something about the Brick Squad?
Yeah, the Brick Squad it's kind of it's a visual too now. It's not just the Brick Squad, but it's if you see the visual of the shirt with the backboard breaking and a brick going up there. So yeah.
Just wondering, Chief Blackburn, you got anything to rebuttal on that one?
Well, that's all the police do is throw up bricks. But Bucky, you and I have played basketball together maybe a few years back, so you know what's in store for the chief, man. We'll just let it lay there.
Alderperson Miller.
Nothing in honor.
Alderman Busker.
Nothing this evening.
Alderperson Brashaw.
Nothing this evening.
Alderman Keister.
Yes, two real quick things, Chief, or Mayor. First of all, 7th Ward Neighborhood Watch meeting. Fourth Friday of the month at the main fire station, starts at 6:30. And I just want to comment on those brick T-shirts. When I was on the fire department, I remember brick being referred to as the biggest guy you got that you threw at a door to break it. So hopefully that's not what's going to be thrown at the basketball hoops that night.
Okay. Alderman Chesney.
Nothing tonight, Mayor.
Alderman Clem.
Nothing, Mayor.
That concludes council announcements and business. We now come to item 14, public comments. Mr. Carroll.
Pictures tonight.
Thank you, Steve.
That's mine. Okay. What you guys are looking at, this little mattress beauty, has been on the corner of Oak and Empire for an excess of 2 weeks. Technically, it's in front of 1523 Oak. Now, given the rather bright, unusual color with the white snow background, how on earth did our incompetent nuisance inspector, Sean Homer, miss this? I can only conclude that he is visually impaired, which kind of frightens me because with this visual impairment, he is driving the white Chevy pickup truck that hauls nothing. So I think we're all at risk there. Mr. Mills, would you and Mr. Homer please pick up this mattress at some point? I'd appreciate that very much. You know, I don't want to wait for spring. And why don't you deposit in front of Mr. Chesney's house? This way he can look at it for a while. I've been looking at it for 2 weeks. I'm more than willing to share. Now, the rather odd thing is, this is a half a block away from Patrick Busker, 5th Ward Alderman. And I don't know how he could have missed this. So he is clearly suffering from the same visual impairment that our incompetent nuisance inspector is. Mr. Busker, you're a disappointment to me. I know I took you around my neighborhood 14 months ago, and it took you 2 weeks to turn in that stuff after 2 calls from me. I'm very disappointed. Now, also, during the last mayoral election, our neighborhoods were the #1 hot topic. This time, not a word from any of you mayoral wannabes in this room. You know, let me tell you, our neighborhoods are still dying. My neighborhood is the worst I have ever seen it. You want to be mayor? Come into our neighborhoods. Make it an issue instead of having me do it for you. You know, where I'm at, mattresses, tires, and of course, the junk cars. And there's still a lot of those in my neighborhood. And abandoned properties, keeping people off of them. You know, I'm tired of driving this bus. You guys, any of you people want to be mayor, step up or just step out of the race. Thanks.
Is there any other public comment?
Mayor, I got something to show you. There's a snowshoes tournament on Saturday.
That's this Saturday, right?
Yep. Just wanted to tell you with the Special Olympics team, good luck, and we're gonna try to win, and go to Chestnut Mountain. And Mike Phillip, I got a question to ask you.
Sure.
You won't be mad at me, then? Huh?
Never.
What?
Never
What's this about the liquor license for the Rosati of Freeport? Liquor license.
I don't know anything about it. Haven't heard a word about it.
I just wanted to tell you about it. So, and Alex Mills, they're going to tear down the building over by Million Gardens. What? Well, you're gonna, and Joey Moe, I hope you do a good job on them in Freeport.
Thank you. Is there any other public comment? If not, that closes item 14. We now move to item 15, which is an executive session. Madam Clerk, would you please read the 3 items for the executive session for us, please?
This is an executive session, closed session pursuant to 5 ILCS 120/2C2 for collective negotiating matters between the public body and its employees or their representatives, or deliberations concerning salary schedules for one or more classes of employees. The second item is 5 ILCS 120/2C11 for litigation when an action against, affecting, or on behalf of the particular public body has been filed or is pending before the court or administrative tribunal, or when the public body finds that the action is probable or imminent, in which case the basis for the findings shall be recorded and entered into the minutes of the closed meeting. And 5 ILCS 120/2C21 for the discussion of minutes lawfully closed under this act, whether for the purposes of approval by the body of the minutes or semi-annual review of the minutes as mandated by section 2.06.
Those items haven't been read into the record. Is there a motion to go into executive session made by a member of the council?
So moved.
Seconded.
Alderperson Bradshaw also moves to go into executive session, seconded by Alderman Ross. Madam Clerk, please take the roll.
McClanathan?
Aye.
Ross?
Aye.
Miller?
Aye.
Husker?
Aye.
Rashaw?
Aye.
Keister?
Aye.
Chesney?
Aye.
Clem?
Aye.
Passes 8-0.
Thank you.